Before the zombies could react, Zhang Yi stepped into the spatial gate and walked towards Bian Jun Wu. Chun Lai tightly gripped the car window and shouted loudly, "Leader!" Hua Hua also widened its eyes, showing a look of deep concern. It couldn't understand what its master was planning to do. Jang Yi knew that if the group found out, it wouldn't allow him to be so reckless, so he quickly took action. Uncle Wang had been fighting alongside Jang Yi from the very beginning of the apocalypse, so he trusted Zhang Yi's decisions. Uncle Wang told everyone, "It's alright. Zhang Yi's ability may not be able to deal with the group of zombies, but he can safely escape. We should follow his lead and wait for him to return." As Uncle Wang spoke, he picked up a grenade launcher and fired a shot behind him. The shot sent dozens of zombies flying, limbs severed and scattered everywhere. Though everyone was worried about Zhang Yi, they felt a bit reassured hearing Uncle Wang. At this moment, their only option was to trust Zhang Yi. They have lived together for nearly half a year under one roof, so they understood what kind of person Zhang Yi was. He was very steady, making others feel safe. If he wasn't sure about something, he definitely wouldn't put himself and others in danger. Thinking this way, they tried to attract as many zombies as possible to relieve the pressure on the other side. Zhang Yi floated in midair, continuously using his powers to attack the zombies. Each wave of energy unleashed could destroy dozens of them. But even with this extraordinary strength, he could not change the dire situation before him. Like grains of sand in the desert, facing the enormous army of zombies, more and more armored zombies were targeting him. After a while, Zhang Yi began to feel fatigue. At this moment, the boat had reached land, but the pressure that the investigation team faced had not eased at all. The ground was covered in zombies, and from the lake, more zombies were climbing up. Of course, Bian Jun Wu's wide area skills could not be used at this time. If he wanted to keep his life with the toll it was taking on his body, he might only have a few more uses left before he would meet death. There was no need to mention the others. Despite their strong combat abilities, they were also powerless against such a massive horde of zombies. They stood back to back, forming a circle, continuing to move forward. But everyone knew that once they ran out of superpower energy, they would all die here in terrible manner. A heavy atmosphere enveloped everyone's minds. This feeling of despair was even more intense than before when they fought Worship the Snow Sect. Zhang Yi had tried to persuade Bian Jun Wu to leave with him. In his mind, even if the city of Tianhai were to be destroyed, as long as they retained the investigation team leader, there would still be hope for negotiations with the Jiangnan area. He said to Bian Jun Wu, "Captain Bian, come with me to leave here. We still have hope." Bian Jun Wu had been coughing nonstop and responded, "Zhang Yi, you should leave." He was about to die and didn't want to abandon his teammates. After all, before dying, he had to leave a good reputation so his family could enjoy better living conditions because of his sacrifice. On the other hand, he knew that none of the investigation team wanted to abandon their teammates to survive alone. They wanted to live together or die together. Seeing Bian Jun Wu so determined, Zhang Yi could do nothing else but curse inwardly. "You idiot, really clueless. If that's the case, don't blame me." Zhang Yi turned and flew into the distance. He thought silently they would definitely die. If the nuclear weapon is launched, all the efforts put into nurturing these zombies will amount to nothing. The effort of me and Kong Yi will go up in smoke. It would be better to return now and activate Bloodvine, causing the zombies to end their own lives. These people were doomed to die. Bian Jun Wu, if you really don't understand this, it will be your own loss. In his heart, Zhang Yi had made a clear decision. Whether the investigation team was wiped out or not no longer mattered, as long as the zombies disappeared. At least for a short time, the city of Tianhai would not be destroyed like this. They still had a chance to develop gradually. With just a few more months, they could nurture another massive zombie army. The city of Tianhai may be lacking many things, but it wasn't lacking dead people. After Zhang Yi left, Zhang Yi quickly moved closer to Bian Jun Wu and his group. With the speed of space-time travel, even appearing in the midst of the zombies, Zhang Yi was not worried about being attacked by them. The location of Bian Jun Wu and his group was also very easy to find, as there was a spot in the vast sea of zombies where the concentration of zombies was the highest. These zombies pushed against each other, creating a pile that reached 6 meters high, trampling over the heads of their fellow zombies to move forward. Jang Yi appeared in front of Bian Jun Wu's group, startling them. "Jang Yi, why are you here?" Everyone was both happy and frightened to see Jang Yi suddenly appear. They were scared because of Jang Yi's powerful superpower, but happy because his presence could bring them hope for survival. When Bian Jun Wu saw Zhang Yi, he immediately asked, "You came here to save us, right?" Although everyone was trying to fight off the zombies, they all kept their eyes on Zhang Yi, hoping to receive a positive answer from him. Even though they knew deep down that the hope was slim, in a desperate situation, they were still willing to grasp any opportunity, even if it was just a straw. Jang Yi panted and said seriously, "The situation is worse than I thought. My superpower is limited to teleportation, and I can only take one person out of here." Listening to Zhang Yi, everyone's mood suddenly darkened. We can only take one person, so who will it be? If the zombie problem is not resolved, the departure of anyone would be meaningless. At that moment, Xiao Hong Lion looked weary, her eyes filled with contemplation and devoid of hope. She sighed helplessly. "It seems that this time I will truly die here." However, despite saying so, she felt no regret. The apocalypse had turned the entire city of Tianhai into a wasteland, with most people having disappeared. Her family, friends, and teammates had fallen one by one beside her. The fact that she was still alive now was already a miracle. Bian Jun Wu also became melancholic. However, he still maintained his composure and asked, "Then what is your purpose in coming here? If you're not sure you can save us, your visit is pointless." Jang Yi spoke urgently. "I come this time to propose a possibility to you. I have an idea. I'm not sure if it will work, but we can try it once." Wu Di eagerly said, "Hurry up and tell us." Everyone looked at Jang Yi eagerly, waiting to hear what he would say. Not keeping everyone waiting for long, Jang Yi continued. "Do you all remember the ice bead of Yuan Kong Yi?" Everyone naturally remembered that item. Bian Jun Wu and realized Zhang Yi's intention. Jang Yi said to them, "You need to know that the ice bead has two special abilities. First, it helps those who have not awakened to discover their superpower. Second, it assists those who have awakened in developing their potential and enhancing their strength." He took a deep breath and looked at Bian Jun Wu. "Actually, I have used the ice bead to enhance my superpower before. Thanks to that, I was able to become one of the individuals with high-level superpowers in Tianhai City." Xiao Hong Lian then admitted, "Actually, I have also used the ice bead. If I'm not mistaken, Wai Ding'e and Xing Tian have used it as well." Jang Yi felt unexpectedly surprised. This was the first time he had heard of this information. Did this mean that if they died, others would inherit their powerful superpowers? However, after careful consideration, this also made sense. In times of apocalypse, strength is valued above all else. Leaders of various forces would certainly not miss the opportunity to enhance their strength to maintain their dominant position. Moreover, the ice bead does not cause side effects if the user does not die. Jang Yi had considered trying the ice bead, but he also knew that this toy was unreliable. Once used, one would become prey for Yuan Kong Yi. He had wanted to use the lie that he had used the ice bead to deceive them, but unexpectedly, they had already tried it. Bian Jun Wu asked, "Do you mean we should use ice bead to enhance our strength and then break out of the encirclement?" Jang Yi nodded. "Right now, that's the only path we can choose. You are also among the top mutant persons. If we use ice bead, we might break through our limits and become stronger. Only then do we have a chance to escape the encirclement." Bai Lai Chang King and the others frowned, beginning to think. In the current emergency situation, any method that could help them escape was worth considering. No one wanted to die. Wu Ji hurriedly urged Bian Jun Wu, "Leader, let's give it a try." Jang Yi even generously offered an ice beat. "This ice beat can be used by you." He had a total of 3 ice beats, and for this unstable material, he didn't need to keep too many. Bian Jun Wu looked at Zhang Yi. Even while wearing dark glasses, Zhang Yi could feel his cold gaze. He had an instinct that Bian Jun Wu could see through him. Could his trivial thoughts be recognized by Bian Jun Wu, an experienced person? After a moment of contemplation, Bian Jun Wu accepted the ice beat that Zhang Yi offered. Zhang Yi kept 1 ice beat for the research laboratory at the Jiangnan headquarters. Seeing Bian Jun Wu receiving the ice beat, Zhang Yi felt secretly pleased. It was indeed perfect. Bian Jun Wu looked at the ice beat and said, "We can only try once now." Wookie hurriedly said, "Let me join." The other members also spoke up, "We will do it together." They had gone through many storms and knew that the ice beat could cause side effects, but in the face of a looming danger, they wanted to live or die together. Suddenly, Bian Jun Wu said loudly, "No, only one person needs to use it." He looked closely at Zhang Yi and thought to himself, "If I use this, Zhang Yi will owe me a favor." He glanced at the white spherical stone in his hand. It was soft, cold as ice, and seemed to have a life of its own, gently moving. Bian Jun Wu did not hesitate, pressing the ice beat to his forehead. Zhang Yi revealed a deep smile. His goal had been achieved. Bai Lai Chang King looked at Bian Jun Wu, speechless. Wu Di, with a pained expression, said, "Leader, let me do it. Let me do it." They understood why Bian Jun Wu acted this way. A month ago, they knew that if Bian Jun Wu withdrew to rest, he would only have a maximum of 2 years left to live. But for his family, for a better future for his wife and children, Bian Jun Wu decided to stay at the front lines. This old captain always took the lead in dangerous moments, protecting everyone under any circumstances. The ice peak quickly merged into Bian Jun Wu's forehead. Jang Yi observed from a distance, suddenly surprised. Then, a look of ecstatic joy appeared on his face. He couldn't believe that Bian Jun Wu was using Ice Beat, this powerful superpower, something unprecedented in Tian High City. With an unpredictable offensive strength, Jang Yi also knew that Bian Jun Wu's life was running out. As long as he died, his abilities would transfer to Yuan Kongyi. At that point, Yuan Kongyi would become a legend-level mutant person, truly one of the most powerful ranks known to humanity. The dream they pursue was no longer far from reach. Bian Jun Wu absorbed the ice beam without the difficulty Yang Mai faced. In just a moment, he radiated an incredibly terrifying aura, causing even Zhang Yi to tremble. Others felt a chill run down their spines. It was an instinctive reaction when facing a powerful being. Bian Jun Wu straightened up. He slowly removed his sunglasses, revealing his gray-white eyes. But now, those gray-white eyes emitted two dazzling beams of light incredibly divine, as if they could see through everything. Bian Jun Wu restored the light and smiled happily. It had been a long time since he used his eyes to see this world. Then he felt that he was in his best state, as if an endless source of power was within him. At this moment, he was no longer a Delta-level mutant person, but had officially entered the legend level. However, as the superpower strength increased, his body seemed to develop a hole that was widening rapidly. Ice Beat had triggered his potential, but it couldn't compensate for the lack of superpower within his body. In fact, it even made the situation worse. Bian Jun Wu's mouth bulled as he coughed. Wu Di and everyone else called out worriedly, "Leader!" Bian Jun Wu waved his hand and said to everyone, "Close your eyes." Everyone obeyed and closed their eyes. They ceased their attacks, and the zombies, no longer hindered, roared and charged forward like giant monsters wanting to devour them. Despite being warned by Bian Jun Wu, Jang Yi secretly opened the spatial door and then opened his eyes. He wanted to see what Bian Jun Wu's true power was like when fully awakened. With the defensive strength of his spatial door, he believed he was capable enough to observe. Although his power was formidable, if it didn't aim directly at him, it wasn't enough to cause him harm. Immediately, amidst the zombies, a beam of light even brighter than the sun erupted, dazzling and vast beyond anything else. No one could see clearly what was happening. They couldn't even hear any sounds, only feeling the gentle and slow footsteps. Jang Yi secretly watched Bian Jun Wu's back. He had his hands in his pockets and walked slowly forward. A white light enveloped the entire world. In the distance ahead lay dense darkness, where a terrifying horde of zombies surged endlessly. Yet Bian Jun Wu turned a blind eye to them, as if they did not exist. That thick darkness suddenly vanished like smoke in an instant. Zhang Yi could not help but swallow, a habit of his. He raised his hand to shield himself from the blinding light. Bian Jun Wu was fully exerting his last capability. Zhang Yi looked after his figure with respect in his eyes. "Leader, thank you for your sacrifice. Your sacrifice will not be in vain." Time passed without a clear sense of how long, and without Bian Jun Wu's command, the others did not dare to open their eyes wide because the destructive power of this eye magic was too strong. Even the members of the investigation team did not dare to look directly, let alone that Bian Jun Wu was now using Ice Beat, which would unleash a power greater than before. He had no doubt now. This was the true legend. Jang Yi thought to himself. He continued to fight relentlessly because he wanted to solve the greatest threat for his teammates. The level of superpower he was releasing would definitely cause his lingering injuries to flare up. Only Jang Yi, thanks to the prerequisite condition of the defensive space door, dared to open his eyes at that moment. In the sky and on the ground, the white light covering everything gradually faded away. The figures of zombies were no longer visible around. The three major forces were stunned and frightened by the sight before them, not daring to approach. They had never seen such a scene in their lives. In Zhang Yixian's eyes, there was a crazed look, and the corners of his mouth could hardly be restrained. "No, I cannot smile. We are only one final step away from victory. Zhang Yi, that fool has helped us a great deal. Ha ha ha. Now, all the leaders of the major bases in Tian High City, including Bian Jun Wu, are using Ice Beat. As long as we eliminate them, we will be closer to realizing our dream." On the battlefield, the white light gradually vanished. Bian Jun Wu turned around towards the crowd. Zhang Yi quickly closed his eyes, pretending not to see anything. But after a moment, he felt a hand placed on his shoulder. That hand was heavy and solid like a towering mountain. Zhang Yi felt a bit tense, and he only heard a cold voice ringing in his ear. "Stop pretending. Did you look very closely?" Zhang Yi smiled wryly, slowly opening his eyes. "Had you figured it out?" When he saw the expression on Bian Jun Wu's face, his smile stiffened slightly, because Bian Jun Wu's face had become much colder, even bearing a deeply meaningful smile. With sincere eyes, Zhang Yi said, "Captain Bian, thank you for saving us." Bian Jun Wu's right hand remained on Zhang Yi's shoulder, making him feel real pressure. Although he knew that Bian Jun Wu would not live much longer after breaking through to the legendary level with Ice Beat, Bian Jun Wu could easily kill him at such close range. Bian Jun Wu responded, "You are quite calculating. Even I am not an exception." Jang Yi remained calm, speaking in a low voice, "I'm sorry, I didn't want to do it that way. That was a backup plan. Now there is no other way. I can only proceed like this." Jang Yi was not lying. He had prepared 3 plans. The first plan, exploit the worship the snow sect's wariness of the Jiangnan area, forcing them to loosen their grip on the zombie army. However, he had overestimated the worship the snow sect's ability to control the zombie horde. When the zombies erupted, the worship the snow sect could not control them, just like in the previous battle when armored zombies with wings attacked Kong Yi's group. The second plan, Bian Jun Wu and his team used Ice Beat to enhance their strength, intending to break the zombie horde. The third plan was for Jang Yi and his group to abandon Tianhai City, fleeing before the nuclear weapon was launched. He could not wish for it to be this way. After all, he and Bian Jun Wu had no enmity against each other. Bian Jun Wu shook his head. "Forget it. After all, I won't live much longer. In other words, I should thank you. Without your suggestion, I wouldn't have been able to have one last beautiful moment of brilliance in my life." He lowered his head and looked at his hands. Is this the power of the legend level? Indeed very powerful? Only regrettable that there won't be another time. Suddenly, his tall finger trembled. The hand resting on Zhang Yi's shoulder gently slipped away. Zhang Yi hurriedly supported his body and said, "You can rest assured, after you die, I will take care of all the remaining issues in Tianhai City." Bian Jun Wu looked at Zhang Yi suspiciously. "So you have been hiding many secrets. What is this really?" Bian Jun Wu couldn't wait for Zhang Yi's answer. In the final moments of his life, he completed a beautiful transformation, reaching a highest sublimation. But this also exhausted all of his life force. He fell into Zhang Yi's embrace, no longer making any sound. Not long after, the others realized the battle was over. They opened their eyes on the battlefield. Hundreds of thousands of zombies had nearly vanished, leaving no trace. Especially the armored zombies, not a single one remained. Only a few common zombies had survived, but they posed no threat to their group. Xiao Hong Lion couldn't believe it, her eyes wide open, her voice trembling. Is it really over? Has it truly ended? She had just prepared herself for death after being attacked by countless zombies. Now everything was completely different. She felt as if she were dreaming a sweet dream. However, the investigation team could not rejoice. They understood what it meant for Bian Jun Wu to exhibit such power at this level. Wu Di saw Zhang Yi holding Bian Jun Wu. He threw his head back and howled in despair. "Leader!" Suddenly, he rushed towards Zhang Yi and snatched Bian Jun Wu from his arms. His eyes were filled with fear, panic like a child. Leader, wake up, wake up. Don't sleep. If you sleep any longer, you won't be able to wake up. He tried to speak into Bian Jun Wu's ear, but only received silence in return. Wu Di, usually so headstrong and mischievous, was now crying like a child. Zhang Yi quietly stepped back, knowing that this was the moment for everyone to say goodbye. Meng Sai Yu, Bai Lai Chang King, and the others hurried over, surrounding the body of Bian Jun Wu. Everyone's face showed a sorrowful expression, but except for Wu Di, no one cried. They simply placed their right hands over their hearts and silently paid tribute to Bian Jun Wu. In the apocalypse, even warriors like them had gone through too many separations and deaths. This kind of scene was not the first time they had witnessed it. Perhaps in the future, that would be the fate of each of them. There was no need for many tears or words, only the respect that would forever reside in their hearts. Wu Di tightly embraced the body of Bian Jun Wu. Although he had turned his back towards Zhang Yi, Jang Yi could still see his shoulders shaking continuously. It seemed that the relationship between him and Bian Jun Wu was not simple at all. One by one, Wei Dinghe, Xing Tian, and Zhang Yixian, who were far away, also moved closer. They did not expect that things would end up this way. Seeing hundreds of thousands of zombies being eliminated, each of them breathed a sigh of relief. Zhang Yixian felt satisfied. Although they had lost hundreds of thousands of zombies, this type of creature could soon be reproduced given enough time and nutrients. But obtaining the abilities of Bian Jun Wu, that benefit was incomparable. This was a significant gain. Zhang Yixian smiled quietly to himself. He observed the group of people next to him, silently counting the number of those who had used Ice Beat, like a farmer tending to his crops waiting for the harvest. Wei Dinghe and his team passed by, expressing deep respect for Bian Jun Wu from the bottom of their hearts. Without Bian Jun Wu's sacrifice, the entire city of Tianhai would have collapsed. Wu Di embraced Bian Jun Wu's body as he sat on the ground, silently saying nothing. Meanwhile, the vice captain, Bai Lai Chang King, with a serious expression, said, "Now that the captain is gone, according to the regulations of the headquarters, I will temporarily assume the position of captain." He took the communication device from Bian Jun Wu and seriously contacted his superiors at the Jiangnan headquarters. Everyone watched him closely. In Jiangnan, Zhu Zhang had been watching Bian Jun Wu's group through the surveillance screen. Bai Lai Chang King called to report the current situation to Zhu Zhang. The zombie horde has been eliminated. The Jiangnan headquarters, as previously stated, needs to cancel the plan to launch nuclear weapons. Hearing this, Zhu Zhang replied heavily, "He has finally left, hasn't he?" Bai Lai Chang King heard Zhu Zhang sigh softly. Zhu Zhang continued, "It's good. To die as a soldier on the battlefield is the best outcome for him. I believe he wouldn't want to prolong his last days in a hospital bed." Bai Lai Chang King asked, "Commander-in-Chief, what will we do next?" Zhu Zhang looked at the large screen in front of him. The images of Bian Jun Wu, Wu Di, and his team appeared on the screen. He then ordered to bring back the body of Bian Jun Wu. The investigation team had lost their strongest fighter and commander, no longer a complete team. Zhu Zhang did not want to lose any more elite warriors under his command. Moreover, now that the zombies in Tianhai City had been cleared out in 2 waves, there would not be any significant upheaval in the short term. "Yes, sir, Commander-in-Chief." Bai Lai Chang King ended the conversation with Zhu Zhang, turned around, and said to Jang Yi and the others, "Blizzard Base has canceled the plan to launch nuclear weapons." Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. They had successfully defended Tianhai City, as well as their vital bases and team members. Jang Yi stepped forward, hands clasped in front of his chest, praying for Bian Jun Wu and those who had died this time. May their souls live forever in heaven. Regarding the death of Bian Jun Wu, everyone did not feel too hurt, but rather grateful. His actions had helped Tianhai City escape from danger. In fact, at this moment, everyone also felt a sense of joy. Jang Yi cast a glance at Jang Yixian. Taking advantage of his unguarded moment, Jang Yi unexpectedly pulled out a dragon sword from the superpower space. Everyone turned in surprise toward Jang Yi. Mei Sai Yu stared intently at Jang Yi, frowning as he asked, "Jang Yi, what do you intend to do?" Jang Yi turned around, his gaze fixed on Xing Tian, causing Xing Tian to step back in fright. "Jang Yi, what do you intend to do?" Xing Tian exclaimed in panic. "What do I intend to do? To take your life?" Jang Yi sneered, accelerating to 8 times his normal speed and forcefully thrusting forward. The sword, made from a rare metal that was indestructible, combined with Zhang Yi's superpower, could easily slice through steel. It pierced through the body effortlessly. The blade emitted a strange light, and a stream of blood flowed from the tip of the sword back toward the hilt, staining a person's coat red. The smile on Jang Yixian's face vanished. He lowered his head, looking through the hole in his chest where the tip of the sword had penetrated, his eyes filled with confusion. He could not comprehend where this sword had come from. But in an instant, he understood everything, because he clearly saw Zhang Yi standing at a distance, holding a sword that, although thrust towards Xing Tian, had bizarrely vanished in midair. Jang Yi immediately drew his long sword. The blood still lingering caused the wound of the injured person to worsen, and blood continued to flow. Jang Yixian immediately fell to the ground, fresh blood soaking his chest. Xiao Hong Lion frowned and shouted, "Jang Yi, what are you doing?" Everyone else looked at Jang Yi, their eyes full of vigilance. Although their past relationship with the worshippers of the Snow Sect was not harmonious, they were cooperating now and had just fought together. It should have been a moment of joy, but Jang Yi's silent assassination truly made people scornful. Bai Lai Chang King and the members of the investigation team furrowed their brows and observed without saying a word. They did not want to get involved in the struggle between the local forces of Tianhai City. Jang Yixian raised his head and stared at Zhang Yi. The forces of the worshippers of the Snow Sect angrily protected Jang Yixian from behind, then prepared to fight against Zhang Yi. Liang Yu and the others also stood beside Zhang Yi, ready to fight. Han Chang of the worshippers of the Snow Sect, with the most irritable temperament, was ready to attack Zhang Yi. At this moment, Zhang Yi still held the sword in his hand, the sharp sword light making Han Chang wary. A voice rang out, "Zhang Yi, why did you suddenly attack someone else?" Han Chang shouted angrily, "Despicable, disgusting, I will definitely kill you." The atmosphere at the scene was as tense as a bowstring pulled tight. Everyone was ready for a fight. Xing Tian, Xiao Hong Lian, and Wai Dinghe all looked at Zhang Yi with dissatisfied expressions. Jang Yixian stared at Zhang Yi and said, "Why did you do this?" Zhang Yi acted too quickly, piercing through his body. Even though he was the top mutant person of Tianhai City, Jang Yixian's ability was mindfulness power, and his physical strength wasn't much stronger than that of an ordinary person. Being stabbed in the chest, he had lost all combat capability. Therefore, fighting back would be very disadvantageous for them. Wai Dinghe also looked at Zhang Yi and said, "Zhang Yi, you need to explain clearly to us, otherwise we cannot just sit by and do nothing." Although they didn't care whether the people of worship the snow sect lived or died, Zhang Yi's actions were too dangerous, making them fear that he wanted to seize the opportunity to eliminate other forces in Tianhai City. They could not be careless. Zhang Yi, holding the dragon sword, wore a smile on his lips. Even though he had just used spatial gate techniques to attack, the angle was not precise enough to directly pierce through Zhang Yixian's heart. Now that Zhang Yixian had lost his combat capability, the current situation was completely in Zhang Yi's hands. Zhang Yi stared at Zhang Yixian and said slowly, "Zhang Yixian, at this point, you still want to hide this. The one behind the zombie plot in Tianhai City is none other than your worship of the Snow Sect." This statement left everyone stunned. Xiao Honglian's eyes widened in surprise. What is going on? Worship the Snow Sect is the one behind controlling the zombies. People from other factions, the investigation team, and even the priests of worship the Snow Sect displayed expressions of disbelief. Han Chang turned to Zhang Yi and shouted angrily, "What nonsense are you spouting? Do you have any idea how many people we lost in the worship the Snow Sect during this zombie attack?" Xing Tian also said to Zhang Yi, "That's right, worship the Snow Sect suffered the heaviest losses in this zombie attack. If they were really behind it, they wouldn't be stupid enough to do something like that." A look of annoyance and madness appeared in Zhang Yixian's eyes. He never thought that Zhang Yi would uncover their secret. "Shut up! Stop spouting nonsense here. Do you think anyone will believe you now?" Zhang Yi laughed heartily. "Whether people believe me or not, once I finish speaking, they will naturally analyze the truth. Zhang Yixian, what are you afraid of?" Everyone listened to Zhang Yi's words. Even though they didn't fully believe it, they continued to listen, because the one injured by Zhang Yi's ambush was Zhang Yixian, not them. Moreover, the information Zhang Yi revealed was truly shocking, and they wanted to know what had happened. Bai Lai Chang King and the others also stared intently at Zhang Yi. They still did not fully understand the cause of the zombie pandemic in Tianhai City. Even Captain Bian Jun Wu had sacrificed himself. They did not want to have any regrets. If they could figure out the cause of the pandemic and come up with a solution, Bian Jun Wu's sacrifice would not be in vain, and they could report to their superiors in the Jiangnan area. Zhang Yi shouted, "Ladies and gentlemen, everything that just happened is part of the worship the Snow Sect's conspiracy. It all started with Ice Beat. Ice Beat can help awaken superpower abilities, enhancing potential. However, its true purpose is that when a user of Ice Beat passes away, their superpower abilities will return to the body of Kong Yi. That is why the worship the Snow Sect generously offered Ice Beat to us. Moreover, they instigated a war in Tianhai City with the aim of causing as many deaths as possible. Even if their own followers are sacrificed, it doesn't matter to them. Usually followers are just a nuisance, worthless. They recruit a large number of followers only to select those with superpower potential, then help them awaken their abilities. After that, they let these individuals die, causing their superpower abilities to return to Kong Yi. Therefore, even if all the members of the worship the Snow Sect were wiped out, it wouldn't matter to Kong Yi. From the beginning, she didn't need that many followers. Zhang Yi's gaze became sharp. She has something better to use, an army of zombies she created herself. Compared to ordinary humans, an army that completely obeys commands and is as difficult to kill as the undead is her real trump card. Zhang Yi's words made the atmosphere fall silent. This information was too shocking. No one could easily believe it. Xiao Honglian, Bai Lai Chang King, and the others looked towards Zhang Yixian, hoping to find answers on his face. Zhang Yixian gritted his teeth and angrily said, "You are talking nonsense, slandering us. How could worship the Snow Sect control something like that? If we really had the ability to control zombies, why would we have suffered oppression from other major powers before? There is no clear evidence. It's all just your speculation." Zhang Yixian pointed at Zhang Yi and said coldly, "Ha ha, Zhang Yi, I suspect you are the one behind this scheme." Everyone at the scene, upon seeing Zhang Yixian and then looking back at Zhang Yi, began to feel doubt. Zhang Yixian's explanation seemed more reasonable compared to theirs. They remembered that worship the Snow Sect had previously been ostracized by the 4 major bases, only managing to survive by taking advantage of a small gap, using Ice Beat to exchange for a chance to breathe. Why, in just a few short months, could they suddenly control an army of hundreds of thousands of zombies? If there was anyone more suspicious between Zhang Yi and Zhang Yixian, there was no doubt that Zhang Yi was the more trustworthy one. After all, until now, Zhang Yi's power was still intact and had not been harmed. Zhang Yi continued, Next to the church, there is an abandoned high-rise building. Inside, it houses a large type of red vine. Its function is to absorb corpses and nutrients from the soil and then nurture them into a zombie king. The zombie king has the ability to spread the virus, creating zombies. Previously, the Worship the Snow sect did not use this card. Either they intentionally created this situation, or it's because Bloodvine had not fully developed. Jang Yi pointed to Zhang Yixian. If you say I have no evidence, would you dare to lead us to worship the Snow sect? We just need to dig up that Bloodvine tree and the results will be clear. Bai Lei Chang King, Xiao Hong Lian, Wai Dinghai, and Xing Tian all showed interest. Indeed, hearing it could be false, but seeing it is the truth. The fact is, they had paid attention to that abandoned high-rise building when stationed to protect Worship the Snow sect and had sent people to investigate secretly. However, the results of the previous investigation did not meet expectations, only discovering that it was a type of mutated plant capable of producing food. However, Zhang Yi's statement caused them to become suspicious. Xiao Hong Lion crossed her arms and said to Zhang Yixian, Zhang Yixian, if you have nothing to hide, follow Zhang Yi's suggestion and take us over to take a look. Wai Dinghai also calmly said, yes, whether it's true or false, we'll know by checking. At that point, we can also help you clear your name. Xing Tian nodded. I also agree with this approach. Although Bai Lai Chang King and the others did not show a clear attitude, their facial expressions indicated that they were also inclined to investigate further. After all, they had suspected there was an issue there before. However, due to time constraints, they had not had the chance to examine it thoroughly. Zhang Yixian felt heavy-hearted. He tried to suppress the intense pain in his chest and asked Zhang Yi, so if nothing is discovered there, how do you intend to explain your actions? You can't just stab me and walk away like that, can you? Zhang Yi smiled. If we find that you are innocent, then it will be my mistake. Then you can come and confront me. Zhang Yixian was so angry that he couldn't articulate his thoughts. The actions of Zhang Yi are utterly unreasonable, but he had no other choice. Even the surrounding forces felt that Zhang Yi had done nothing wrong. In this chaotic era, murder and robbery had become daily occurrences. The major powers had gone through much conflict and resentment. Regarding the matter of Zhang Yi and Worship the Snow sect, they preferred not to intervene. They were only concerned with whether what Zhang Yi said was truly the truth. Han Chang, standing next to Zhang Yixian, angrily said, we at Worship the Snow sect always act with integrity, fearing no one. He pointed his sharp finger at Zhang Yi. Anyway, if it turns out that what you said was incorrect, I won't hesitate to rip your guts out. Zhang Yixian suddenly stopped everyone and lowered his voice. We cannot allow this to happen. We cannot let them approach Bloodvine. The priest looked at Zhang Yixian, not understanding his intention. Bai Lei Chang King observed Zhang Yixian's attitude and said, not allowed to go. Is there a ghost or something they don't want others to know? Zhang Yixian stared at Zhang Yi and said, Bloodvine is our lifeline. Worship the Snow sect. We cannot let them see Bloodvine. They are definitely targeting Bloodvine. If we lead them there, will they snatch Bloodvine away? Han Chang shouted loudly, Zhang Yi, you are so cowardly. If you want war, then we will fight you to the end. Zhang Yixian turned to Han Chang and the others and said, all right, let them see that our Worship the Snow sect is not easy to bully. The priest trusted him, without a doubt about Zhang Yixian's words. Hearing Zhang Yixian say this, those ready to confront Zhang Yi immediately started shouting and rushed forward. Zhang Yi smiled. Great, come here. The people from the Worship the Snow sect really weren't worth his concern. Zhang Yixian ordered, and more than 10 people charged toward Zhang Yi and his group in anger. Zhang Yi, along with Liang Yu and several others, was ready to respond. Although no one knew exactly what Zhang Yixian was planning, they understood the issues with the Worship the Snow sect, so everyone remained calm and prepared to confront them. Zhang Yi, who was always composed, unexpectedly stepped forward. He covered his right eye and calmly said, enough. I don't have that much time to waste on you. When he lowered his hand, a flash of white light appeared in his right pupil. Those who were caught in his gaze felt the space around them warp. Suddenly, an unimaginable force from three-dimensional space tore their bodies apart from all directions in almost an instant. The 7 people from the priesthood charging forward exploded, the upper halves of their bodies turning to bloody mist in the air. The remaining priests stood frozen in place, paralyzed by fear. Zhang Yixian witnessed this scene speechless, just staring in shock. The terrifying scene before them caused even Han Chang, the bravest among them, to lose all courage, his feet unable to move on the ground. Bai Lai Chang King witnessed this, somewhat shocked. He exclaimed, divine power. This is the first time Zhang Yi has used divine power in front of outsiders. He used it during the last military campaign, but at that time his divine power skills were not yet refined. He only used it to locate and eliminate 2 mutant persons unsuccessfully, but now he has completely mastered this ability. With one strike, he had eliminated 7 members of the Worship the Snow sect. That astonishing power left Xiao Hong Lian, Xing Tian, Wai Dinghai, and the others in awe. Xiao Hong Lian thought to himself, Zhang Yi's strength is terrifying like this. Surely the people from our Yangsheng base didn't offend him, right? Only now did they truly understand how powerful Zhang Yi really was. The words about being defensively and ambushing from behind, not being good at close combat, turned out to be false. Chunlai suddenly pointed into the distance and shouted, Leader, that guy named Zhang is running away. Jang Yi looked up. Zhang Yixian had taken advantage of the moment when the priests sacrificed themselves to escape. With the ability to manipulate energy, Zhang Yixian could make his body fly at extreme speed. Jang Yi immediately realized and told Bai Lai Chang King and the others, no need to rush. He is going back to report to Yuan Kong Yi. That woman is the real danger. We must eliminate her. Otherwise, after revealing ourselves, we all might die. Bai Lai Chang King stared at Zhang Yi. On what basis should we trust you? Zhang Yi replied, Trust me. You won't suffer any losses. Whether it's real or fake, you can determine that for yourselves. The elite at the Jiangnan headquarters are not easily deceived by me. After saying this, Zhang Yi no longer paid attention to them, took out the snow vehicle, and called for everyone to follow. Han Chang and the fortunate surviving priests were already too frightened to dare to intervene. Bai Lai Chang King thought for a moment and said, Let's go, we should check it out too. The incident in Tianhai City also needs to come to an end. We need to understand the real situation here. You can't let the captain die without clarity. The investigation team decided to move forward and investigate. Xiao Hong Lian, Xing Tian, and Wai Dinghai shared the same thoughts. On the other hand, until now, there had been no conflict between them and this incident. If Zhang Yi actively pointed out that the worship of the Snow sect might be manipulating the zombies, they would observe for inspection. They also would not be at a disadvantage in this case. Thus, the remaining groups quickly found suitable transportation and headed towards the worship of the Snow sect. At the barracks of the worship the Snow sect, the chapel, Yuan Kong Yi knelt before the altar, sincerely praying. Suddenly, she opened her eyes a brilliant light. At that moment, she felt a powerful superpower returning within her body. Yuan Kong Yi wondered, whose superpower is this? The divine power seemed to belong to Bian Jun Wu, the leader of that investigation team. Yuan Kong Yi's eyes sparkled like stars in the sky. Is Bian Jun Wu's ability really mine? A sweet smile appeared on her lips. However, very quickly, she regained her composure. She clearly sensed the strong power of Bian Jun Wu. Yet, just a moment later, she frowned. Is Bian Jun Wu dead? How could he die? Who in Tianhai City has the ability to kill him? Who would dare to kill him? Bian Jun Wu, with his special status, represents the Jiangnan region. His death would surely attract the attention of the Jiangnan region. Yuan Kong Yi furrowed her brow. She vaguely felt that something seemed to be beyond her control. The heavy snowfall has turned the area of the worship the Snow sect into a desolate and tattered place. This place used to be vibrant like a town, with over 10,000 believers gathered to withstand the cold of the apocalypse. However, after a zombie attack, most of the believers were killed in mounts of zombies. The survivors were just a few mutant persons and their relatives. From afar in the sky, a figure was quickly flying towards them. Zhang Yixian had a pale face, even whiter than the snow. Blood flowed from his body, a deep red. A swing of Zhang Yi's sword did not hit his heart, but it pierced through his chest. If he had received effective treatment at that moment, he might not have lost his life. But he knew if he stayed there, their secrets would surely be exposed. Therefore, he had to return to inform Yuan Kong Yi so she could prepare in time. He could die, but Yuan Kong Yi absolutely must not be in danger. Zhang Yixian landed in front of the church. A few remaining mutant persons were frightened by his injuries. High Priest, sir. Zhang Yixian did not glance at them, directly stepping past and moving towards the door of the church. His time was running out. He needed to meet Yuan Kong Yi quickly. Some mutant persons wanted to help Zhang Yixian. Let me assist you. But he rejected them with a sharp look. He even cursed the mutant person wanting to help him. What a disgustingly annoying cockroach. The person stood there in a daze, unable to understand, having the good intention to help Zhang Yixian, yet being met with such a fierce gaze in return. Zhang Yixian opened the large door of the church. Yuan Kong Yi seemed to sense something and suddenly turned her head. She saw Zhang Yixian with severe injuries. She shouted loudly, "Who hurt you?" Seeing that he did not answer, she staggered. Yuan Kong Yi's pupils suddenly contracted. She quickly walked towards Zhang Yixian. Upon finally meeting the person she loved, Zhang Yixian eased some of the harshness in his words. He collapsed. If it weren't for the deep faith in his heart, he would have died on the way. Yuan Kongyi reached out to support his body. Zhang Yixian, what happened to you? Her clear but cold voice showed a hint of anxiety for the first time. After speaking, she reached out to heal Zhang Yixian's wounds. With her abilities, as long as the person was still alive, regardless of how severe the injuries were, she could heal them. But Zhang Yixian grabbed her wrist and said, "No need, don't waste your superpower on me. My wounds are too severe. Saving me will consume too much of your strength. Danger is approaching. We have been exposed and they will kill you. You must survive well." Zhang Yixian's hands stopped in midair, not dropping at all. A faint smile appeared on Zhang Yixian's face. He looked at Yuan Kongyi, and although her expression was cold, he could clearly see in her eyes that she didn't want to give up. Zhang Yixian smiled. Finally, he understood that Yuan Kongyi did have feelings for him. "You must survive well for the sake of our ideals." He leaned into Yuan Kongyi's embrace and slowly closed his eyes. Dying in the arms of his beloved was not a regret for him, but a happiness. Yuan Kongyi bowed her head sadly at Zhang Yixian's death, yet she did not shed a single tear for her companion of many years. However, shortly after, her gaze sharpened. She looked at Zhang Yixian's lifeless body and wondered, "Surely you will return to me in another way, right?" Then she took the superpower from Zhang Yixian. Previously, Zhang Yixian had also used Ice Beat. In Yuan Kongyi's mind, she thought this is the motivation that Zhang Yixian had while he was alive. Not long after, Zhang Yi and his group arrived at the Worship the Snow Sect's area. At this moment, those remaining at Worship the Snow Sect were unaware of the conflict between Zhang Yixian and Jang Yi. They only saw Zhang Yixian injured and cautiously asked, "Why is our high priest injured?" Jang Yi was not interested in their questions, his eyes fixed on the chapel, with its door slightly ajar. He knew that Zhang Yixian must have come to find Yuan Kongyi. At that moment, Yuan Kongyi was on guard, unable to launch a surprise attack anymore. Jang Yi had no intention of doing so either, because at this moment, no one knew how much superpower Yuan Kongyi possessed or how strong he was. He also did not dare to launch an attack recklessly. Bai Lai Chang King and his group then arrived to worship the Snow Sect. They first headed to an abandoned skyscraper near the chapel. Given the current situation, the issue with the zombies needed to be resolved. Whether the zombies were caused by the worship of the Snow Sect or not, they would find out after observing. Jang Yi led them. "Follow me, I will show you." Jang Yi led the investigation team and the mutants from different factions to the abandoned skyscraper. The worship of the Snow Sect still had some surviving mutants under the leadership of Han Chang. When they regained consciousness, Jang Yi and his team had already moved far away. A mutant asked Han Chang, "What should we do now? They have already taken action. Should we pursue them?" One person expressed fear, but Jang Yi, he is really terrifying. In the blink of an eye, he killed so many people. Even the high priest was ambushed and severely injured by him. Can we stop him? Han Chang gritted his teeth. "We are members of the sanctuary. If it weren't for that cult leader saving us, granting us superpowers, we wouldn't be here today. No matter what, we have to go back. If they want war, we will fight to the end." Han Chang turned and searched around, eventually finding a car left behind by another force. They quickly got into the car and chased after Jang Nan's group and the other forces. Jang Yi led the way, saying to everyone, "Follow me and I will show you." In front of the building, a mutant person was guarding. He rushed to speak up and stop them. "This is a restricted area of the Snow Sect. You cannot." Before he could finish his sentence, Kong Shang appeared like a ghost beside him, swiftly grabbing his neck and slamming him against the wall. "Don't make a scene." The mutant person's eyes turned white and soon he fainted. Jang Yi led everyone straight into the abandoned high-rise building. Inside, the space was still immersed in a strange blue light. Bloodvine branches and vines were spread all over. This time they came during the day, so the scene became even clearer, sending shivers down their spines. At this moment, the ceiling and the walls were filled with corpses. After all, nearly 10,000 people died in that battle, and they became the best source of nourishment for Bloodvine. A gloomy and eerie atmosphere spread everywhere. Even though it wasn't their first time there, some still felt spine-chilling cold and broke into a cold sweat. The death of human beings is not terrifying. What is frightening is this eerie and chilling atmosphere. Xiao Hong Lion couldn't help but ask Zhang Yi, "Where is the evidence you mentioned?" Xiao Hong Lion thought to himself that the things hanging on the wall were actually things he had secretly taken to study, and he discovered that the corpses were just ordinary dry remains, drained of all nutrients. Therefore, they were not the cause of the zombies. Jang Yi took a step forward and said, "At first, I also have my doubts. We studied these corpses and the bloodvine branches, but we found no bacteria resembling those from zombies." He turned to look at everyone. But I quickly realized that this is precisely what they want us to know. At the very least, you have been quietly monitoring this place, haven't you? If they were truly hiding an important secret, there's no way they would let their defenses be so lax. The group looked at each other, understanding each other while shifting their gazes elsewhere. They were always following Zhang Yi up the stairs. In the past, they had taken the opportunity to sneak in here, where the worship the Snow Sect was not paying attention, taking samples for study, but found nothing. They quickly reached the blood vine. The huge tree was like a world tree, deep green, with roots reaching deep into the ground, stretching high into the sky, covering every nook of the abandoned skyscraper. Jang Yi continued, zombies prefer to live in dark and damp places underground where the bacteria in their bodies thrive. Therefore, we can conclude that the environment that cultivates this virus must have similar conditions. The entire city of Tianhai has long lost places that meet this condition. Thus, this is the only remaining location. Zhang Yi pointed toward the base of the blood vine. Underground, his gaze immediately became sharp. The environment down here is perfect for cultivating the virus, isn't it? That was his conclusion. Although just a hypothesis, it had been confirmed through various pieces of information, becoming the thought closest to reality. At this time, he came here specifically to verify that thought. Hearing Zhang Yi's analysis, everyone couldn't help but glance toward the base of the blood vine. Bai Lai Chang King frowned and quickly stepped forward. Then, with a powerful punch, he struck the ground. A deep thud sounded, and the ground immediately shattered, with large chunks of concrete and mud flying out in all directions. Zhang Yi, his team, and other forces instinctively stepped back a few paces, using various means to avoid the debris flying around. Not long after, when everything calmed down, everyone hurriedly moved closer to see if the evidence Zhang Yi mentioned had appeared. Just after a moment, everyone's eyes widened. Their pupils revealed extreme astonishment, along with a rising tide of fear. Bloodvine, with its dense, tangled roots spreading out, has covered an area so vast it's hard to tell the extent. The ends of these roots resemble peanuts, but instead, they are corpses. The bodies are humanoid, covered entirely in white fur, along with giant corpses of bronze-skinned beings. Some have nearly completely transformed, while others are still in the process of changing, retaining their human forms from before. Everyone is all too familiar with these corpses. Aren't they the zombie kings and armored zombies they had fought before? It turns out they all sprouted from a single tree. No, more accurately, they were nurtured from it. It is clear that some still retain human characteristics and are transitioning into zombies. Upon understanding the truth, everyone was filled with fear. Xiao Hong Lion clenched her fists, shouting in anger. So the seeds of disaster have been hiding here. Worship the Snow Sect. You are the despicable villains. Not just her, but everyone here was boiling with indignation. If this were a natural disaster, they might accept it. But this is a man-made catastrophe, a scheme that has been long prepared, filled with cowardice and shamelessness. Since the apocalypse began, the worship the Snow Sect has suffered the most severe losses. Yuan Kongyi and Zhang Yixian have taken advantage of the sacrifices of ordinary people to gain trust and sympathy from other forces. Now, when everyone understands the truth, they feel as if they have been mocked by the Snow Sect, treated like fools. If Zhang Yi had not intervened in time to thwart the Snow Sect scheme, what would the consequences have been? Just thinking about it is enough to make them shudder. Perhaps once the investigation team leaves Tianhai City, the true faces of Yuan Kongyi and Zhang Yixian will be exposed, and then they will eliminate other forces. It truly is unpleasant to feel like you are being watched by a giant. Sing Tian said in anger, "These are truly shameless villains. Is there really someone in this world who is so evil? They even plot against their own people." He clenched his fist tightly, but there was clearly a hint of fear in his eyes. As for the investigation team, their expressions were all dark and terrifying. The death of Bian Jun Wu was an immense pain for them. Now they discover that the one who caused their captain's death is still right beside them. They cannot bear this feeling of being deceived. Bai Lai Chang King slowly raised his head, squinting his eyes. A strange smile appeared on his face. These people have truly created a grand spectacle, causing the captain to sacrifice himself. We do not like being underestimated and deceived. Let's kill all of them. The cold and murderous gaze began to spread around. Everyone here, after learning the truth, was anxious to eliminate the worship the Snow Sect. Some were motivated by their teammates, some by their families and friends, and some only because their own interests were harmed. After all, they now had a common goal, to ensure that those who had toyed with everyone must die. Jang Yi looked at the group filled with killing intent without saying anything. Only his eyes contained a glimmering light, hiding a deeper plan within. Jang Yi thought to himself, how powerful is Yuan Kongyi after absorbing so much energy from Yu'd persons? No one can judge. I know she is strong, but surely not to the point where she doesn't need to care about other Yu'd persons. If that were the case, she wouldn't need to worry about the attitude of the Jiangnan headquarters. But what about after receiving the power of Bian Jun Wu? To what extent will her threat level rise? Let's just wait and see. Bai Lai Chang King held his giant lance, turning a face outward. He turned back to Yi Ji Kang and said, Jai Kang, destroy this plant. Such a source of disaster cannot be left behind. Yi Ji Kang nodded. I understand, leave everything to me. Bloodvine is the real specimen of a zombie. Only by destroying it can the zombie epidemic in Tianhai City completely disappear. Bai Lai Chang King quickly exited the abandoned high-rise building. The investigation team and others followed closely behind. The powerful forces followed them without hesitation. Now, people no longer needed to use words to communicate. Only actions were required. Next, the one responsible for the near-total destruction of Tianhai City had to die. Zhang Yi quietly followed behind a group. Before setting off, he turned his head to look at Yi Ji Kang. Yi Ji Kang approached Bloodvine, placing his hand on it. A flash of light appeared, and a strange shape resembling a black plastic octopus emerged from Bloodvine. Zhang Yi thought to himself, a mutant person that releases energy from within, it seems capable of turning superpower into a type of installable explosive. Zhang Yi did not stare for long, as staring at someone else's superpower could be considered disrespectful. He simply memorized Yi Ji Kang's ability in his mind and then left with Bai Lai Chang King and the others. Not long after, a loud explosion was heard from the building. Following that, the entire abandoned high-rise building suddenly collapsed. Yi Ji Kang calmly stepped out from the dust and smoke after the explosion. At this moment, the remaining followers of the Snow Sect were horrified by the explosion and appeared outside the building. They saw the abandoned high-rise building gradually crumbling and observed Bai Lai Chang King with intense killing intent, causing them to feel too terrified to advance. Bai Lai Chang King did not look at them, holding his lance and heading towards the cathedral. Someone from worship the Snow Sect saw this scene and bravely stepped forward to stop them. At the very least, you must notify us if you want to meet the cult leader. Suddenly, a large shadow appeared in the sky. Those people transformed into faint images in an instant and disappeared on the spot. Jang Yi could only catch a glimpse of a burst of blood and bones exploding in midair. Bai Lai Chang King's attack speed was so fast that he couldn't even see it clearly. Just a few seconds later, a high-rise building several hundred meters away was demolished. From a distance, 2 large bloodstains appeared on the wall, as if a mosquito had been smashed against it. Lian Yu intently watched Bai Lai Chang King's figure and carefully reminded, Zhang Yi, this person's strength is very strong, at least comparable to 3 people like Lang Feng combined, if not stronger. In their eyes, Lang Feng was equivalent to the title of perfect warrior, as his speed, strength, and agility were all outstanding. But this was the first time they had encountered a warrior powerful in the field of enhancement, who could completely surpass Lang Feng. After the truth was revealed, a large battle was inevitable. Both sides had lost incredibly important things, important people and precious resources. These were valuable enough for them to risk their lives. As for Jang Yi, it was simply a fight for a peaceful life. Just one large door apart, the atmosphere between the 2 sides had become tense, like a bowstring about to snap. The followers of the worship, the Snow Sect, gathered around, but only a few loyal warriors and devotees remained. The majority of the followers, unable to fight, huddled in the rooms like ostriches unwilling to face what was happening. At this moment, Lai Jian was holding his wife, leaning against the window and observing everything. A glint of madness flashed in his eyes. Son, do you see? Father will avenge you. Today, Yuan Kong Yi, that crazy woman, will surely die. Bai Lai Chang King led the way, along with Xiao Han Lian and other forces. More than 30 mutant persons gathered there, staring intently at the beautifully decorated white door of the church, but no one rushed in. Wu Di stepped forward, radiating a large ball of light. Then, like a sword, a plasma gun aimed at the church's grand door to attack. In an instant, the grand door of the church was shattered into tiny pieces. Zhang Yi and the others fixed their gaze on the inside of the church. As the door shattered, he caught sight of the scene inside. At the altar, Yuan Kong Yi sat on the steps, holding the lifeless body of Zhang Yixian. Seeing Yuan Kong Yi, Wu Di's eyes ignited with intense hatred for that woman. Bian Jun Wu was like a father figure to him. When Bian Jun Wu died, he blamed anyone connected to this outcome. The object of his deepest hatred was undoubtedly the cult leader of the worship, the Snow Sect. Go die for me. Wu Di stretched out his arms and began to unleash his superpower. Although he knew it would greatly affect his body, he didn't care because of Captain Bian's grudge. Wu Di stood at the front, surrounded by hundreds of glowing orbs that illuminated him like a deity. A barrage of bullets erupted like a storm, carrying the destructive power to annihilate everything. As Wu Di's plasma guns approached Yuan Kong Yi's body, They were all blocked by an invisible force. At that moment, Jang Yi finally raised her head to look at them. Her ice-cold gaze emanated deep-seated hatred. In this world, the last person she trusted was dead. Jang Yi placed Zhang Yixian's body on the ground and slowly stood up. The powerful plasma guns almost destroyed the cathedral, but they could not breach her mindfulness power wall. Around her, within a 10-meter radius, an invisible wall suddenly appeared. Jang Yi reminded she has at least dozens of types of superpowers. Everyone needs to be cautious. Xiao Hong Lian, her eyes filled with killing intent, said, "No matter how strong she is, I don't believe we can't kill her with the power of all the mutants in Tianhai City." Xiao Hong Lian was enveloped in bright red flames, with light red patterns resembling flowing lava on her skin. She quickly ran in another direction towards Jang Yi and unleashed a massive dragon fire. Without needing anyone to direct them, the mutants who had survived until now were all the elite of the elite, well-versed in combat and coordination. The group of people split into 3 directions, using their superpowers to attack Jang Yi from a distance. Those with close combat and beast battle abilities were ready to wait for an opportunity to charge forward and attack Jang Yi. Xing Tian rode on the back of a fierce beast, shouting loudly as he advanced. Countless superpowers rained down towards Jang Yi. In the face of any kind of attack, the expression on Jang Yi's face remained unchanged. It seemed like there was a circular power around her body that could block all attacks. Jang Yi gazed intently at Jang Yi, wanting to know if his divine power could break through Jang Yi's mindfulness power barrier. That was his trump card and could not be used easily. He had to wait for the right opportunity. At that moment, Jang Yi's body suddenly began to slowly rise into the air. She looked like a supreme goddess looking down at everyone. The followers of the worship, the snow sect in the distance, witnessing this scene, excitedly knelt down and shouted, "Snow God! Snow God!" Jang Yi and the others immediately realized that it was the power of Zhang Yixian. At this time, Han Chang along with other mutant people hurried to the scene. They did not know how to approach, worried that Jang Yi might be in danger from Bai Lai Chang King and Zhang Yi. But when they saw the scene before them, astonishment was evident on their faces. A female priest with her hands clasped in front of her chest said excitedly, "Is this the blessing of the snow god? Cult leader Viva, you truly deserve to be the incarnation of the snow god on earth." However, after Han Chang witnessed this scene, he felt his throat dry and the enthusiasm in his heart cooled by half. But isn't this the ability of a high priest? Zhang Yixian's superpower is very strong. What makes people admire him is the ability to control his body to break free from the constraints of gravity, allowing him to soar at high speeds. But now that this kind of ability has appeared in Jang Yi, could everything Zhang Yi said be true? The so-called light speed is just a big trap. That all the good things Jang Yi has done for them must also be fake. Han Chang did not dare to continue thinking. The more he thought, the more shocked he became, feeling his faith collapsing rapidly. At this moment, Jang Yi hovered in midair, like a deity overseeing all living beings. She shouted, "Foolish and insignificant beings, you completely do not understand what kind of existence you are facing. I am the messenger of the gods on earth, the one who conveys the will of the divine. Any actions that demean divine power will be severely punished. Zhang Yixian, welcome back. I really wanted to know about your mindfulness power." Jang Yi spread her arms wide, demonstrating the mindfulness power of Zhang Yixian. She kept saying, "Let me cleanse this world without faith." As Jang Yi raised her arms, the ground beneath everyone's feet began to tremble violently. No matter how many superpowers attacked her, she remained calm. Woody simply couldn't believe his eyes. His plasma gun was more powerful than a sniper rifle, almost as strong as a missile. But how could a barrage of plasma guns be easily dealt with by Jang Yi? Jang Yi realized the situation was dire and quietly retreated behind the group. Zhang Yi and the others nearly lost their balance, almost falling to the ground. Cracks appeared in the earth as if it were experiencing a tremor. While Zhang Yi was still in shock, the ground began to rise. Zhang Yi activated his ability to accelerate 8 times. His figure seemed ghostly as he moved backward. Zhang Yi thought to himself, she has definitely reached the legend level. The others also sensed something unusual and hurried to distance themselves from Jang Yi, but everything around them began to collapse. The ground cracked and huge boulders flew into the air like a meteor shower. Such powerful energy made Bai Lai Chang King and the others recoil in shock. They knew Jang Yi was strong, but they had no idea she was this powerful. This strength seemed capable of destroying the entire world. Just moments ago, they had witnessed the earth-shattering power of Bian Jun Wu, only to quickly encounter the power of Jang Yi, a level 5, legend power. Yuan Kong Yi's cold gaze looked towards the group of Zhang Yi, her delicate white right hand powerfully pointed downwards. Massive boulders fell from the sky like meteors, crashing down on the area where the crowd stood. Countless boulders soared high, then quickly descended to the ground under the horrified eyes of the people. Within a radius of several kilometers, this was a comprehensive attack, resembling a meteor shower. However, it was not beautiful, but filled with terrifying destructive power. In a situation where there was no time to dodge, everyone used all their strength to resist. Bai Lai Chang King laughed heartily, holding his lance, large as a fan, twirling it. Facing the continuous falling boulders from the sky, he exerted his strength to control them with the lance. These were stones weighing several tons, even dozens of tons. Not only humans, but even trucks that were hit turned into rubble. However, Bai Lai Chang King, relying on his mighty strength and lance skills, altered their trajectories. He stood in front of everyone, not backing down. At this moment, Bian Jun Wu was dead. He was the team leader. He wanted to protect the members of the team. Jang Yi faced this type of attack, handling it with ease. His spatial door opened. Regardless of what big rock fell, it quietly vanished from existence. Compared to others, this was much more difficult. Xiao Hong Lian's fire attacks had little effect on the boulders. She could only use purgatory to enhance her defense, her body swiftly dodging in the dance of falling rocks. However, with debris flying and boulders incessantly falling, she was struggling tremendously. Not a few mutant persons were hit by the boulder because they couldn't dodge in time and instantly turned to rubble, leaving no chance to scream. Jang Yi called out to those around him, "Come to my side." At this moment, to fight against Yuan Kong Yi, they needed to gather the strength of everyone. If others were killed, then Jang Yi would be like a tree, unable to withstand the house. He had to strive to protect the remaining people. Everyone saw Zhang Yi use the spatial door to block the rain of boulders. Immediately, the rocks converged towards him. Those who once regarded him as an enemy hated Zhang Yi's spatial superpower to the point of grinding their teeth. But now that they had become allies, this type of ability gave them a sense of safety. Everyone quickly ran to the back of Zhang Yi. Jang Yi expanded the spatial door larger, covering them from above like a big umbrella, preventing the hail from hitting them. Although they could hide under the spatial door, there were still some people who could not dodge. These were the followers and mutant persons of the Snow Sect. At first, when they saw Yuan Kong Yi appear with his mysterious tactics, they all knelt and rejoiced. But when Yuan Kong Yi launched indiscriminate attacks, they were also caught in it. Those who were unprepared were completely wiped out in an instant. Yuan Kong Yi calmly said, "You will return as well. The remaining new persons of the Snow Sect are now worthless. Better to kill them, then their power will be concentrated in my body. Jang Yixian has passed away, and Yuan Kong Yi needs to win this battle. Only then can she build a world that is not corrupted." Han Chang, witnessing Yuan Kong Yi kill all the followers, felt his faith completely crumble. "Why is this happening, cult leader? Why do you want to kill your loyal followers?" It turns out what Zhang Yi said was all true. She is not the savior. She is a demon, a mad woman. Yuan Kong Yi did not pay attention to Han Chang. Luckily, at this moment, her focus was on Zhang Yi and his brute, not Han Chang. The other two had already logged out of the Earth server well before. With Yuan Kong Yi's current strength, killing all three of them would be a trivial matter. Yuan Kong Yi lowered her head, staring intently at Zhang Yi, and softly said, "I truly want your space superpower." She resembled a goddess, slowly raising her hand, extending a finger, pointing at Zhang Yi and his group. The boulders that had fallen before started to tremble violently, then flew into the air, creating an enormous stone storm around Zhang Yi. Boulders danced from all directions, and Zhang Yi and his group were right at the center of the storm. In this moment of life and death, Zhang Yi's gaze was extremely focused. His space portal could only open 2 gates at the same time, unable to defend in all directions. He silently told himself, "This time, even if I open 2 space portals, I basically cannot defend against it." Yuan Kong Yi's ability to manipulate mindfulness power is many times stronger than Zhang Yixian. They are not on the same level. Are we just going to die like this?